All right. Hi, Isabel.
Hi, Efisia. Hi.
Okay. So, you ready to channel today for important, matter that is we have here the transforming the grid of suppression. Okay. What the people are experiencing now, victimism, the oppressor. Okay. What you're going to channel about all these fear feelings, and we're going to see what you're going to perceive. I count from 5 to 1, and when you're ready, just let everything go a channel with this emotional state. 5, 4, very relaxed and heavy. 3, feel dragging down. And 2, deeper and deeper down. Relaxed and heavy. And 1.
Okay. I've got this image of imagine like a grid that plants can grow through. You sometimes put that on a plant in a garden if you want to kind of contain their growth. And the plants grow through this kind of metal mesh, and the grid actually helps them not fall over. So it's usually made of metal or willow or something, but it's like a container, but with these huge air spaces for the plants to grow through. And what I'm seeing right now is like, imagine instead of the air spaces on this grid, you have like let's just say plastic. Okay, it's a plastic dome. And so you've got, I just saw these, because it's spring here in England, these daffodils coming through. And instead of being able to go through and grow out into the sunlight, supported by this mesh, they are coming to the surface of this dome and just folding over and in. And they keep, when another bit tries to grow, and it goes to the dome and it keeps folding in. And this is what I'm seeing. And I think it's a metaphor for the natural growth of humans without this suppression, is to go through and beyond and out and extend to infinity. And they keep being pushed down and folded in so that the flower can never completely blossom. And then you get it, if you have a flower that's designed to do this and it's doing that, it can never truly blossom. It can't be fertilized by the insects. It will curl up and intrude on the space of the other plants coming up. And so this, whatever this suppressive plastic dome is, it's interfering with the natural growth of the plants. And for me, that's our humanity wakening up and growing.
So why the people are suffering of victimism?
It's just this old system. The bubble is like it's an opaque surface. It's semi-transparent, and it's been there so long we can't even see it's there. We don't even know it's there anymore. So we just go our merry way and we grow, and we don't understand why we can't grow beyond, because it's just always been there, this thing, this border, as long as we can remember in our past life memories, in our present state, in the fields of information we have access to. We don't even know it's there. And I'm seeing like I dug up this piece of glass from my garden which had opalescent light on it. It was an old piece of glass, and I'm seeing this dome like opalizing, becoming kind of almost iridescent, like a rainbow iridescence. And in some places it gets thinner, and that's where like the plant has got a chance of coming through. It's almost like it's we have some kind of ability to melt it, or it's being melted by the condition in which our planet is sitting. This what we call the ascension energy, this increased power and potential. It's starting to dispel this constrictive, restrictive dome. It's just that it's influenced so much our growth patterns that we don't even know we've changed. It's starting to thin though, and I think we can influence it more and more and more.
So there will be, a different perception. Will people understand one day what is to be a victim, was to be a perpetrator, when they take responsibility of their own. I mean, usually we was talking before. I mean, if people cross your energy field, they are invading your energy field. Okay, and you tend to protect your energy field because I'm a very nice person. I am very spiritual, but I'm not allowed anybody to violated my energy field, my house, my kingdom, my body. Is
So it's like that's been exacerbated by this system. So if we go back to that dome, it's a really good example. Let's say you've got 25 daffodils growing under this dome, and normally they would come through the mesh and grow up and be their beautiful selves, but because they can't, they are bashing each other all the time in this small space, which is not how their nature made them. So that's why we keep interfering with each other's energy fields, because we don't have the full natural space. But the other thing that's happening is that when somebody does manage to penetrate and go beyond this dome, then everyone else inside is saying, like, who are you, to go beyond and to extend yourself and to blossom and to be seen? Who are you to dare to do this? And that's the next point of friction, as a few people manage to go beyond this restrictive dome because their restricted surface has fizzled out. It's melted from their presence and the presence of the energies from beyond working together. They stand up, and you have all these other plants that are entwined with each other in each other's face and space, kind of pissed off at that one. And I think that's just a good metaphor, because a victim is this, we use that term, but it's just that restriction. And we've got to remember, we've got to realize, perceive, and embody that we don't need to have the restrictions anymore, because we don't know what that state is yet. It's new. It's like a new taste.
Okay, yeah. Usually people are usually beyond, don't even listen what they are telling because they are beyond and not even notice. But the people, they start to understand that when people are starting to probably dissociating from the dualism, from the duality, says, what is going on? Why these people, they are going to the other side? So is some people, they starting to think out of the box,
Yeah.
and this is what I always repeat myself, that this new age, this new era, the age of Aquarius is is the age of the light, of a new consciousness. And there will be shakes. There will be a few shakes around the world in order to create a new even way to think, even to understand that doesn't help anybody to be victim of their own emotions. Okay, this is what I do often. I often I do, for my case studies, for my sessions. People, they are victim, but they didn't choose to be victim, obviously. But after a trauma, you become addicted to victimism because nobody helped you. You don't know where to go or how to get out. Okay, so this is
with the plants, it's the same thing. You can train them.
exactly.
Train them to take a certain form, and they will, and then they'll only take that form that's under the dome, and they think that they're cool and brilliant because they don't know what's beyond. But this is the exciting thing. I don't see any, I don't see cracks in that dome. I don't see it cracking. I just see it thinning. I see it like a surface that goes from thick glass to like a bubble, and you can just break through the bubble. Question is, what is it that's thinning it? What is that? And it feels like it's the marriage of the infinite power that we're allowing to ourselves. The more we allow the knowledge of this infinite capacity of source into us, which you could call the sun for the plants, the more we allow that, it increases our growth, and it also kind of thins out this restrictive layer as we grow towards it. So it's not just us, but it's us in tango, in tandem with this source energy. And the more we remember we have a right to it, that's what I get. It's like this right. We have the right to be in harmony, in tandem, in love with the source energy of which we create and with which we create. Then our restrictions dissolve. And it's just that down in the dome, we haven't remembered that we're allowed more of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that before to arrive in that thinness. I mean, many people we mention in often they are not ready for this new world, and they are quite grounded, materialistic, and victims of their own greed, fear, victim of this loop, this matrix. This is why my next question was about the news, the fake news, the propaganda. I was checking with my pendulum. I checked that 20% of news of the world, they are fake. And I was checking the energy of this 20%, and I can see they contain, like a hypnotic spell that is to put fear and to create victimism with the people,
We just self-recycling it. It's like a program that we're just on auto-recycle. And because everyone else around you, all those plants in the dome, are doing the same thing. You don't see beyond, you don't recognize anything else. It's just on constant loop play.
Yes, it's a loop, and they're creating as well a state of, let's say, detachment. So the people are starting to read, oh, poor kid eating the popcorn, or eating the food. I mean, if you see something really terrible in the news, in the TV, somebody's being killed, blood in the streets, building crash, you don't even feel to it. You are empathic. You are, oh, poor people. Oh my God. But there is a completely dissociation. It's like this is because now the news they created. There is a connection. What is real and what is not real. This is the people where they not feel that is real. They says, oh, it's fake. I mean, you can see sometimes, images that they are real and they don't believe it's real. This is what they created.
This to go back to this dome. If we think that it was originally there, it was originally there to help us, like the support for the plants. There's all these stories about the pyramids created an energy structure, and it was there to give us free energy and communication across the globe many million, well, we don't know how long ago, thousands of years ago. So that's what that grid was for now. But now they added electrical charges from all their other places, filled it up, and they keep on recharging this dome covering with their electrical charges. And that, of course, is what's hypnotizing and dazing the mind. I just had someone recently who had fallen off the roof, and he was taking scaffolding down, and he hurt his nose and it was bloody and he was in pain. And of course I instantly saw him and just said, oh darling, and I went to get him some. And the man next to him, who could also have done something, was just switched off, just like vroom, nothing, no feeling, nothing. And it was so weird, because we looked after this man and he got what he needed. He couldn't take very much from me. He didn't let himself take too much, but he let me look after him a little bit. But this other man was just like switched. And it's this electrical charge that keeps on being charged into the network. And everything in me tells me we have the power to switch it back off. It's like drive it back down into the ground, depolarize that energy. I just keep seeing it all the time. And people are getting a little upset at me sometimes because it's coming through me really strong.
I mean, to obviously to understand that we have that power, we have to really thought the people, yeah. Because if I see myself 10 years ago, example, I had a spiritual awakening, a process, and I was in the dark. I mean, I didn't know all the things
Yeah, but
I
look
know
at you
now.
now. Yeah.
And I believe now that we are capable to do amazing things with our energy, even to switch off and to protect ourselves. I mean, obviously, if somebody shot you with a rifle from behind, prepare, defend yourself. You can create your, but to starting to listen better, to starting to feel better. Okay, the energy, sensations, clues. We have basically an enormous giant book in front of us with all the informations. Obviously, now I know. Before I didn't. So what I always believe is that we have to, linking people with other people and tell that it's not me. I'm better than you. I'm more talented than you. I'm more. I'm not a guru. I'm just a simple person like you that I'm using my IQ. So this is many people think, oh, I'm stupid. No, because you don't use, because they teach you to don't use your brain. This is why what we use usually the average is 9-10%, I think.
Well, that's what they say, but hey, we don't even know how to measure those things. But it's this thing of better than or less than. That's again the dualistic program. Is it's so easy to manipulate ourselves with, and all it is, it's for me, it's inspiration. That's all it is. It's a spark. And you spark me, I spark you, we spark these other people, and we've all sparked enough that it's like we create this field. And it wasn't because she's better, he's better, it's nothing. It's just I'm alive and sparked. My being, my essence is being used. It's on. It's maximized.
I mean,
all of us
as a humans, yes, we need a scale anyway to understand. But I think we can. If I think about my brain, we can call in any way you want. But if we can exercise, if we can start to understand, when we send to our subconscious the information that our brain is already super active, they can do crazy things in a good way, obviously, because sometimes I think maybe it's good that we don't use even 30%, because if we the 30% of people are already destroying the planet, imagine everybody with this 30% what they can do. This is why we have to teach how to use the brain first, and then you exercise to become more and more, because I think it's a level that goes up layers after layers, okay? And the generations that they have to come, they will be always on top of us, because they are basically they are galloping with the progress, but the progress must be progress, not regression. Okay.
Yeah, I mean the danger is if you have 30 people in a room and you teach the same thing to all of them, it could cause disaster here and brilliance here, because it depends where they are.
Exactly.
And so the only thing you could do, as you know, it's the law of resonance. This idea is like a spark that will jump to the resonators who are ready to receive it. And what I keep saying is this: if we just entertain the idea that we have the potential to neutralize any frequency. And that's what we do every day when we're receiving information on the emotional level. It's information channeled through our soul, telling us the state of our being relative to our soul. So we have that information all the time. We're always transforming all the time. We just forget. We don't know what emotions are, but that's what they do.
Mm-hmm.
They're this transformative, vibrational transformation going on every moment of our lives. If we then apply that and we receive an idea, there is something, and we now know more and more. There are so many stories of this restrictive mesh, the archontic suppression system, the reptilian suppression, the grey suppression, the matrix, the AI. We are now aware that there is this thing. We start to understand there is vibrational frequency. That's how the universe is made. Everything is a frequency. It's not a thing. It's first frequency, which materializes, crystallizes into thing.
Mm-hmm.
If we can acknowledge that what we process every day in every cell of our body, in every moment of emotion, is that same process of transformation, and we just dare to know, if we had the idea, there is the truth and the potential of it, that we can neutralize that signal that has been possibly generated by us, but used and abused by reptilians and archons and greys and all the icky yuckies, and neutralize it. We can send it white noise. We can neutralize it. Every time I've seen you work with Oksana, like that beautiful work you did in Italy, it's palpable. You can feel it. It works. It's there. It's tangible. Maybe not to everybody yet, but it's there. And I feel we've got to remember we have much more potential for this.
Mm-hmm.
And it can't hurt anyone in this case, because you have to acknowledge the existence of this kind of power. You have to be very transparent anyway, because you can only get that kind of worthiness feeling by resonating close to your source energy. You can't get it, you can't feel it unless you're close to your true being. So if you have that impulse, and I'm positive that more of us have it, but most of us, like I work with children, you see them have a brilliant idea and you can watch them throw it away. You know, you can see it in their faces. And we adults, our beautiful selves, are doing that a little bit to ourselves too. And I think it's time that we can own this and, you know, get together and we can find something here to neutralize it. Just the idea will start the ball.
This is why children, they are no programmed until they started to have 5 years old. They started to go to school and they program. This is, you know, we basically, to use all these powers, all this already inside that we have completely to change a lot of things, because we are basically programmed. Our parents was programmed to teach us this, what is right, what is good, what you politician have to choose, what religion you have to follow. If you have to behave in that way, you know what I mean. Money is important. Programs. And now these reptilians, grey, insectoids, you know, draconians, they are losing. They are afraid that because the power, because the people, that is the awakening. The only way for them is to stop, to the people starting to have the the basically, you know, the consciousness, to be the third eye that is opening, is to create again chaos.
Mm.
When there is chaos, when you are distracted, fake news, people bombarded every day of crap in the news, fear, pandemics, where they says, don't worry, we protect you, you don't have to have any fear, don't be afraid, oh, we're going to protect you, nobody is bullying you, okay? And these are programs like the victims. You can see the victimism. The person that is angry is the first. Teachers are the news at school. The politicians, they don't really show their best, isn't it? Or the communication sometimes is completely distorted. And it's a big job. And many people, it was said from the beginning, they're completely brainwashed. This is why at the moment we are just a minority. Unfortunately, it is, because not everybody, you can talk about these things. This is why we do videos.
I know we're in
videos. Sorry, just a second. This is why we do videos, and we try to express, you know, this this new view, because we are stuck with people that love the Matrix. I don't love this Matrix. I think it's time to make big change. And the people, they says I'm crazy because they're not ready to this.
But why do they love the Matrix? They love it because it's held them up. It's just that it's like loving your crutches.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've walked on crutches before as a child, and if you can't walk without them, you love your crutches because at least you can walk. But we've all been taught to love our crutches. But the irony is, you know, okay, I work with this little girl, and she said to me, I love this little girl. She said, everyone thinks I'm really annoying. And I said, really, everyone?
So well, okay. So a little bit Alf. Oh, okay.
Sorry, I'd say maybe the volume is too quiet. Yeah. So this little girl said, everyone thinks I'm really annoying. Okay, this little beautiful girl. Okay, she's very short for her age, but she's a beautiful being. And I said, really, everyone? She said, well, okay, my mother and father, they don't, but everyone else. I said, even your friends? Are you sure? You know, yes, they all think I'm really annoying. So we had this conversation about why she felt she was annoying. And deep down, she was starting to believe what they were saying to her when they were annoyed, which of course anyone can get sometimes. But she was believing all the negative things from them. And I said, okay, is there anyone else apart from your family who don't believe you're annoying, who do believe that you're beautiful and brilliant and intelligent and creative and lovely? She said, yeah, you. So you and my mom and my dad. So that's great. We've got 3 people here. This is fantastic. And so we worked out, what if she could, in an ideal world, what would she have happen? What would happen? How would she change it? And just in this conversation, she said she would like it if people would be a little bit softer, a little bit kinder to her. She would feel a bit better about herself. So we went through what she could do. And I passed this on to the other staff. And they didn't know this. And they were barking at her because she was expecting to be the annoying one. She'd got such a pattern already at age 8, 9, that she expected to be the annoying one, and she was fulfilling them on every single level. And all she needed was someone to give her a space to tell what was actually happening. And we can't do that with all the humans on the planet, but the point is that we can imagine it and it can start to happen, instead of our normal tendency is to slap someone down. I do that too. If someone is being really inappropriately rude to me, I'll like a cat, you just back them away. It's just like, stop it. But it doesn't mean I stop loving them. It just means I pull away, and then the potential. And I think it's something about this understanding of the mechanism of the injured victim child that grew up to be the adult in this system.
I think that you was definitely a teacher, the teacher that everybody want to have. But I noticed that the teachers of
they're scary.
They don't communicate at all. They don't bond at all with the students. It's just papers. They are just numbers. Even when they have to punish the child, this is in the primary school. I heard stories that I'm quite still shocked that they don't even explain to the child what is punished, because they have to use all these procedures, papers, give it to somebody else. Then they call the parent. The child is still in this cycle. They tell him, stay in that cycle, don't move, you punished. The child is, why? What I done?
But this is exactly the same thing. Of course, we are playing out the same system that is being played out over us adults. The adults are playing with the children in the same way that this egregor of suppression is being played.
They forget they are children. They are children, and they're the next generation. You are creating already traumas. You are bullying them. You are cold. Absolutely. Obviously, they're not all that, but you wanted to be a teacher. Nobody told you to do that. You instinctively, you did your job because you are empathic, because you are passionate with your work. I know when you tell me, you explain, and you care about students, because you see not only a child, you see a soul, the purity, the genuine. They can be fantastic people one day, fantastic parents. They can help to grow the society, in communities that we always thought. Okay.
What I want to say is that it's one step away for anyone, whether we're working with children or with an adult. There are more of us with empathy. It's just that we have believed that we have no power in that empathy, in that love. And it can be as simple as one step in one direction that will open up another whole existence for that person you're with. I just think this reminder that I was confronted with this fear I was telling you about earlier this week, and it just put a full stop to my energy for a while. It just halted me. I was in limbo land, and I had to believe in myself truly enough to know I always find a solution. I don't know what it is, but I always find it. So I had to get that piece of me really working. And of course, sure enough, I was drawn to the solution, but I was in limbo land for a while. And I had that knowledge that I always find the solution. And most people don't have that anymore. You know, that piece of information spark has
Yeah, and the informations, usually the informations come in, the first ones, the beautiful ones are coming from inside.
Yeah.
And this is why many people says, oh, I know I have to trust my intuition if I make a mistake. Says, don't worry, don't bother if you make a mistake or not. It means that for you is a mistake or somebody else is a mistake. Who knows? But
But
just
this is the thing.
intuition.
It's that tiny decision between dare I do it, dare I not? And that's, I think this is the point we're in. It's like the tinderbox moment. If we light that spark, we will have a transformation. If we dare just to believe that little teeny bit, it's just literally next door. It's just, we haven't dared because that was fairy tales. I've been accused of being a fairy tale thinker. Yeah, I love fairy tales, they're brilliant. But those are real. That's real.
Of course. Okay, I think we done here, and yeah, thank you so much, darling. Think that we cover a very nice, interesting subject because obviously many people are suffering of of many kind of difficult emotions right now. And they are in a loop. They are victim. They are imprisoned by this own loop or matrix or box. So thank you, and yes, we speak you soon. Bye bye.
Bye bye, Efisia.